guess this is a. Oh, fuck. All right. All right. I guess this is a journal two. Second journal where I just talk about things that are going on, and just speak on whatever I'm doing for the week, the month, whatever I've been doing, and like things that are going on. I guess I'll start with probably the most interesting thing being my art and what I got going on there. Because I've got my art class and I'm doing drawing and painting, and it's just 100 fucking still lifes, and I'm getting real tired of doing those. And then you go to the painting and it's the same thing but with color, and we only have like 5 colors to actually work with. So art has been something that I've been doing, and I'm getting real tired of this major, but I want to do stuff that's, I want to make my passion projects a reality and make that my job. So I've been sticking through it, and I've been hanging out with a friend, and we've been writing stuff to try and come up with something in the future that we work on. We've been hammering down mostly story beats and characters and stuff, and it's been going pretty good. And I'm writing my own story with my own characters that's separate to him, and I think that's going well. So overall, I'd say it's a really cool thing right now, at least that, and I can't wait to expand upon it more in these worlds that I'm making. I guess I could summarize what we have going, or no, maybe not. It'll be a surprise for the the people that actually end up looking into what I'm doing, if there even is, if I even get that far. Who knows? I could outright just stop working on it at some point. I don't think that's likely to happen though, because I've been having fun working, which is good. I think it's cool to find something you like working on. It's not you know, it's not like I'm working on fucking platinum on a game. Something outside of my usual hobby. Not outside of my usual hobby, but something a little different. Writing a story to go along with them isn't something I normally do. This game is so fun. I need to find the herb. Actually, like RE6. I know a lot of people don't like RE6, but I find the game kind of endearing. Especially with Sherry and Jake's campaign. They probably had my favorite out of the ones that I've played so far. I still need to play Ada's. That's the only one I haven't played. And I need to replay Leon's because I played that one a long time ago. So. I don't know why people dislike this one so much. I always hear it's because the series being very action filled, but I don't understand why that's a bad thing. I will say sometimes the story is a mess, but I think that's a given with Resident Evil. It's always going to be a mess. I can't name one time it wasn't a mess. Because they all have a loop where you're in the really good starting area, and then you move on, and it's usually a sewer or something of that sort. With the, no, not even an exception with RE4, because you end up in a sewer anyways. Or not a sewer, but like an underground thing that might as well be a sewer. The My theory with sewers in games is that the sewers are used to save assets because sewers mostly look the same, so they can get away with it being a very samey area. And it's not a bunch of stuff, which is fine because I like the sewer areas usually. The only sewer area I don't think I liked was probably the RE3. That one and then RE5, but that RE5 sewer was like 20 seconds and there's just dogs in it, so it's not like we were losing anything big for me not liking that one. I think the best sewers in a game I've played have to be Outlast. Outlast is a really fun game. I've never been more stunned while playing a game in my life because that was a really nasty game too. And I knew it was going in, but I didn't think it was to the extent that it was, if that makes sense. Outlast thoroughly surprised me by being how it is. Is Fat Ass dead yet? Boom, boom. Alright, I got him. These are probably my favorite version of the zombies is in the catacombs here. Yeah, these are what I usually picture when I think of zombies now for some reason, as opposed to the green people. Or it's not what I usually picture, but it's just what I prefer. Although my favorite zombies have to be the way RE9 did zombies in the care center. That was fucking awesome. That game was great. I can't exactly replay that one just yet though. Still too fresh. But after a while, I will come back to it. Have a lot of fun with it. The Insanity mode. I tried to start a second one on Insanity. That shit is crazy. Making the Requiem pretty much useless. Oh, I didn't get that guy. I like Sherry. I'm a little upset she wasn't playable in RE9, especially since she showed up. It would have been cool to see Sherry, even if it was just for a small section, like RE2. I don't know why this campaign is called Jake's campaign, when if they put it as Sherry's campaign, more people probably would have played it. And then again, I guess, Troy Baker. So. I think Jake needs to come back too. I thought he was really interesting. He was kind of a dickhead, but he was interesting. And Helena. I like Helena. I really like Helena. She's probably my favorite character in this game. Aside from most people's favorite Leon Kennedy, who I also really like in this game. I think this game has his best outfit. When the jacket's off, I think he looks really cool. But I think his best characterization is either RE4 or RE9. They did a good job making you be able to tell that he has like a horrible case of survivor's guilt. Which is fucked up because he did everything he could. Raccoon City was unsavable by this point. So, you gotta respect him for trying. And it was getting there. What kind of bullets? I know I spoke on Outlast for a little bit, so I guess I'll go in depth on that. By speaking on, that's a game I finished now, which I hadn't played last time I was journaling like this. Outlast was a really cool game. I had a lot of fun with the experience. I really like the gameplay loop of Outlast because you feel pretty helpless in that game. When stuff happens, it's happening, and you don't got a gun, and you're just walking around with night vision, and that can die. You can lose your night vision if you don't find the battery. Oh fuck! And then after that, I took a break, didn't play Outlast for a while, and then I went to try Whistleblower, and that was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. Whistleblower was a very confusing DLC. Alright, I gotta get out of this area. I would totally play Outlast again in a few months. Not a few months. In the future. I would totally be down for an Outlast replay. I got into Outlast because I was seeing people's Outlast speedruns, and people were finishing the game in 4 minutes, and that was insane. So I went in and I beat the game myself to see how long it would take normally, and it took me like 3.5 hours. I was going through that game really fast. I wasn't exactly stopping to see everything that it had to offer. But it was really cool. Some of these enemies in this game fucking suck. I don't like the Mercenaries map that you unlocked for beating. Or I like the map, but I don't like how it summons a giant-ass guy, and you gotta fight him. That seems a little excessive for Mercenaries. That's just how I feel. Other than that, I think this is probably the second best Mercenaries. Down to losing to the RE4 remake. And that's because the RE4 remake just did everything the RE4 OG had better in gameplay regards, with the exception of Incendiaries missing. Incendiaries should have been in the game. Incendiaries are cool to play with. And the Plagas Destroyer. I don't know why they took that out. Probably because that weapon's fucking ridiculous. That's what made it fun though. I got my RE2 Platinum the other day. I've had this game for so long, and I just never really walked in with the Platinum, right? Until I started working on it like a week ago. And I already had like most of the achievements. What I needed to do was a hardcore playthrough. And I did that. And that sucked. But I got them both on S rank. And then I went through, and on standard playthrough, I got my Frugalist and my no item box one at the same time. And that sucked, but that's done. And then I've beaten a No Way Out. That was getting really mad at that during the first attempts. And then, I went to sleep, rested on it, woke up, and then just won. I did it again and won. That was not an easy thing to do. These lantern guys get really annoying right here. Green lanterns, like that character can't catch a break, especially with the new trailer for a show. Not exactly looking green. I hope it ends up being green. I'll probably watch it anyways, just because I've already invested in every project the DCU has to offer. Watched through Creature Commandos, watched through both seasons of Peacemaker, and I sat there and I bought a ticket and I went to watch Superman. And I thought Superman was pretty cool. I like this guy Agent. I'm mad that this guy's not in more stuff. Agent's cool. I don't know. It's like this guy should be in more things. They put him here instead of Hunk. Who? That nigga fucking died. Probably. That was crazy. I couldn't believe it. They let you. Could not believe that they had you fight that guy. And potentially kill him. Especially because he was really cool. And the thing he survived was, insane. And he kept showing up just here and there. Not for anything ever actually canon. And it's like, what's the point of having this guy if you're going to waste him all the time, Capcom? A Notorious Umbrella Soldier has the potential to be a really cool character. And it's not like he's just a jobber. For Survivor, a lot of the characters in the series couldn't make it out that. That's because of how goddamn crowded that room was. You've seen characters get screwed over by less. Oh man, that's on video. Oh my god. Okay. Alright. I've never whiffed like that in my life. Holy shit. I just missed like 6 consecutively. Wow. I don't like the Chihuahua. Those guys aren't fun to me. I like this costume. Is Leon's alternate in this one the fucking pirate? I still need to unlock it. I've never whiffed that many shots in my life. That was bad. I don't like how many people are really impressed with Requiem gameplay when a lot of the stuff in it RE6 did first, but people didn't play RE6, so they don't know that. Like, the interactions with the environment specifically, that's been a Resident Evil thing. But people just never saw it because they didn't play this game. I will say, the way the parry works with the axe sharpening, I think that's a great gameplay addition in comparison to the knife that breaks. The knife breaking is really annoying. Because, you gotta wait until you go to the shop. And so, it makes getting your tool to parry back go way faster. And I was utilizing that a lot during my playthrough. Oh wow. I got a sticky note of things that I wanted to talk about. I guess I could talk about... no, I don't really want to talk about some of this stuff. I will talk about this. Recently, me and one of my friends have been watching a lot of shows. Be it mostly animes. I have stuff that I want to watch on my own that I have yet to watch. But what I did watch, and that what I will praise, because I had a thoroughly good time watching this, was Gachi Akuda. I think Gachi Akuda is probably one of my favorite animes off of just the one season that it has, and I'm interested in starting to read it. I just have yet to do so. I think reading manga and comic books is awesome. I'm not exactly invested into every Crisis on Infinite Earth, things that go on. I don't read a lot of the combined books. I just pick whatever story I want to read and I read that. Like, I think I read the Krakoa 2019 Deadpool with Elsa Bloodstone, and I thought that was a cool run. And I got a lot of Moon Knight stuff. I read a little bit of King Spawn. I need to finish that. And I want to read the Walking Dead comics, but I haven't had the money to afford that because I prefer to read everything physical. What I do have is I have a copy of Under the Red Hood on the graphic novel thing, and that was a fun read. Jason Todd's a character that DC decides to not utilize properly, and he ends up being the same character in a lot of. Well, it's not like I'd know. I didn't read him. I did play Arkham Knight, and I thought he was cool in there, and that's what made me read the initial run. And then he had that movie, and that movie was really good. And then Titans rolled around, and that show was a waste of time. At least for me. I can't remember half the things that happened in Titans, honestly. Every time I see something from that show, it looks like a fan fiction. I don't know how to word it. Which honestly, I think that's just every Marvel and DC project now. Is that it's a fan fiction because comic writers are fans of the properties. I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing that that fan fiction is part of the normal company. Without fans, you wouldn't have good stories. Because either you got writers trying to please fans, or not trying to please fans, but trying to make something that fans will enjoy. Because that's how stories work to make money. You're trying to write something that somebody would enjoy. Unless you're doing a non-fiction piece. Or a persuasive piece. It's, a little bit different. But in the case of comic book medium, you are making something for someone to enjoy while enjoying the process of making it. If you look at it that way, it's really endearing. But a lot of people, especially not companies, look at it that way. They look at it as, this was successful, people liked this, we're gonna use it to make money instead of add on to the mythos of an interesting world. But there are a lot of writers that do that, like the Absolute Batman. I know a lot of people like that. I read a little bit of it. I thought it was cool. I liked the special where he went and beat up a bunch of clan members. That was really cool. A lot of those guys had to go. The fact that he felt guilty about being that violent adds a lot to his character too, because he knows those were bad people, but he still feels like he was doing too much. And a lot of people, me included, are saying, oh, that's not too much. But it's sort of a thing where it shows he is ultimately a vulnerable human being, even though this guy's standing at 6'9", and his bat symbol is a axe head. Absolute Batman's a really interesting run to see. Ooh. I really like the melee animations in this game. A lot of these are really cool. Back on track, I was talking about Gachi Kuda. Gachiakuda has the best black characters I've seen in anime ever. Granted, I have yet to watch like Fire Force, Soul Eater, stuff like that. Prior to, no, I don't want to say prior to Jabber and Corvus, my favorite still is Dutch from Black Lagoon. I think Dutch is a great character. That series it's a unfortunate thing that happened to Black Lagoon on just not being able to, you know, keep going. I think it's because of the author's health issues, which I hope it gets better for him. But you know, that series basically gets like a chapter a year, so it's not really reliable. This fucking map. What is this here for? And then they throw the stupid ass bug guy at you, and I hate that guy. But yeah, Mike. With Dutch out the way, my favorite black character in anime is probably Corvus. He doesn't do a lot, but he's really cool. And I don't know if he does more in the book later, but I'm going off of what I've seen, and I think he's awesome. God, this guy shakes the screen so much. It's over. We gonna crawl. Oh, that was unfortunate. Alright, roll again. Again, I was saying, I think Corvus is really cool. I wish they did more with Black Lagoon. Dutch is awesome. Aside from that, I'd probably say Amoy from Naruto gets the third slot behind Jabber and Corvus, who are right now they're interchangeable. That's to see if it changes. I think they're both great in different regards. We see more out of Jabber, and I think Jabber's really cool. It's just Jabber has his own quirks that are like kind of bring him down for me, but at the same time, no. He's a really fun and eccentric character to see on screen. That's just never been my favorite character archetype. But I do like it for what he is. I think Jabber's cool. I like his last name. He's Jabberwonger. This guy's name is ridiculous. Streak ended. It's fine, it was only at 3. Bam. I hate when camera angles get messy. It happens way more often than not. Oh well. Recently, I finished Naruto within like the last 2 months. And my favorite character ended up being really odd. I found a lot of interest in Kakuzu, who, you know, he's there for one arc, and then he loses and dies, right? And then he doesn't show up again until reanimation, and he fights a bunch of people in the sand. I think a character who steals people's hearts literally, and you know, there's nothing lovely about him. There's, you know, he's a stand-in for human greed. It's really interesting, especially the dynamic with Hidan, and just what the zombie duo is, where one of them is like an analogy for religion and the other one an analogy for money. and how those two things can be twisted and made evil it's really interesting. And I think that's one of the better writing choices Kishimoto made. So just like, he looks cool. That's usually how I get my favorite characters, is whoever looks the coolest. Not all the time, you know, but more often than not. There's certain things in aesthetics that I just end up really rocking with always, and the like masked ninja usually hits it. And nobody else on the Akatsuki was like masked like that except for a Sasori puppet, but then they unmasked Sasori and he's just like this tiny red hair guy that stopped aging because he turned himself into a puppet or something like that. I was not a fan of Sasuke's team while watching that. I thought Karin was annoying. I thought Suigetsu was annoying. And Jugo was okay, I guess. I think Sasuke himself was pretty annoying at times too. That guy wouldn't shut up. At the end, he ended up being one of the more interesting characters to me towards the end of the series. But like mid-series, I'd say up until he invaded the Ninja Summit, I didn't really like him. And his team just kind of, they felt like they were there for no reason. I'm sure there is something that I missed while watching it, but they just all kind of feel like, we gotta give Sasuke some characters that aren't the Akatsuki to be around all the time. And then, you know, most of the Akatsuki ended up dead anyways, before him and his team joined anyways, so. Then they went and they got their ass beat by Killer Bee, in what's probably my favorite fight in the series. I think Killer Bee's really cool. I don't like him as much as Amoy, because, you know, he gets the rapping stick on characters sometimes. You know, alright, we get it. You don't gotta rhyme every word, always. Him and the Raikage were both interesting, but a little more rowdy than I'd prefer. Not that that's a bad thing. You know, everybody's got their thing, and that's Killer Bee's thing. It's just not my character archetype preference. Again, I'm just speaking on the things I like. And I think Killer Bee's cool. I just wish he'd be quiet more. What the hell, game? Ooh. God damn, this guy's got a lot of health. This one individual. I wonder when the big guy's gonna show up. Probably soon, if I had to guess. I think he spawns in after 60 enemies are killed. The only enemies in this game that I didn't really end up liking was those one guys that split into like his hands and legs. That guy was irritating to fight in the story. But I think that's pretty much it. gonna have to take the loss here because I can't reach that guy. Oh, how the fuck did this guy get up here? Alright, can the screen stop shaking so much? Damn. Let me get to that. We're trying to unlock the Leon costume. Do I have? I wonder if that works on this guy. So last time I came down here was for Tom. And the bug guy was down here. So I'm waiting on that guy. I really hate some of the enemies in this game. Yeah, this guy. I hate this guy. So fast for no reason too. Ah, come on. Is there two of them? Just run. I don't think I'll be getting it. Come on. Oh, thank God. What was I talking about, Killer Bee? Well, I don't got much more to say about Killer Bee. I could speak on college teachers. I got some really interesting teachers this semester. I got this one teacher who keeps talking about how his wife hates when he plays League of Legends and how he likes buying scratchers. He always buys scratchers in pairs of 6. And then I got this other teacher, and she's like real specific about art stuff, and that makes it kind of not fun. But it's like, I know it's fundamentals, and I know it's stuff I gotta learn, so it's whatever, right? Her name is, reminds me of the guy, because it's Negan. And it's like, Negan, come on, you know? Every time I walk into that class, I'm thinking about the Walking Dead. Because I really like that show. up to season 9. Which, you know, that's what most people do, but it's just by then the characters that I cared about are all gone. With the exception of Michonne, but you know, Turkey ends up leaving in season 10 anyway, so, you know, the character that I followed throughout literally the whole thing is gone, and his son is gone, and so it's like, you know, what to do, I guess. You know what to do. Come on, Leon, let's at least get 100. Did I not get anybody? I really hate these grasshopper guys. $101. Nice. Trying to think of where there might be more time. I think the Dwabo are a lot less interesting than normal zombies. Mostly because we've already seen stuff like them. I think the RE4 is the Nato, or the most interesting RE zombie. Oh my god. Really, right now? That's not enough again, damn it. Would that even be my last score? Killed an enemy with coup de grace. I guess the last thing I'll talk about is I really like the movie Get Out. I watched Get Out and it ended up being my favorite movie. A lot of the symbolism in it and a lot of the real stuff that it was speaking on was like not exactly subtle, but it was really, you know, hidden. There's messages that some people are gonna miss because they're not, you know, living in the same situation. So I think Jordan Peele did a great job, and I know I'm only like 7 years late to the party. No, I watched the movie like 2 years ago. It's been my favorite movie for a long time. But yeah, I think that's all I had to speak on this time. Adios.